Hello everyone, Kirby1 here. Welcome back to Accidental Ascension 3 with myself playing as Lady Ryla, and I want to express extreme disappointment in myself because once again we have lost a turn to the void. Turn 28. Turn 28 was a pretty big turn. A lot of very important and very fun things happened that I wished I got to show you. Unfortunately, I spent a lot of this past week looking for all of the, digging through my deleted files and just really trying to pin down if I had this turn file at all in any form. And that is not the case. Another case of me finding it difficult to be able to record these videos not in real time. See, I don't really do very well in real time, just trying to record while I'm playing. I get distracted. I don't really speak super well. In fact, less well than I speak right now. So alas, turn 28 is no more. We're just gonna have to get into turn 29 and show you essentially the outcomes of turn 28 right here in this message from the lips of Flash of Sloth himself. Queen Baka in her greatness has led her army to defeat. Yes, but she killed about 70% of my mage corps, and that's exactly what happened. That is what happened. So let's take a look at the from what I recall off the top of my head, 3 really big significant things that happened in turn 28. First of all, we won. 50 PD actually succeeded in holding off this crazy massive stupid army of Erythia, and yeah, we won. We broke his army. They routed. We killed a lot of his dudes. But it was very expensive. He actually wound up having some of his knights on attack rear, which, you know, as knights do. And they wiped out a bunch of my mages. So I'm down to 2 slave mages, 2 of these star spawn, one of whom is, well, feeble-minded from summoning, and 2 of my Astral 5 dudes. And that's not great, especially since my income is crap. He's raiding the heck out of my lands, and I have nothing, really. The second big thing is that right here, the fort that was in dire peril of being immediately stormed and taken by Atlantis' massive army did not hold out, but was in fact just abandoned. So Atlantis decided that he was going to try and salvage whatever is going on over here with Man and Mictlan and now Marignon attacking him. And so he moved off my fort and didn't storm it. Perhaps not exactly knowing what I had in there, which, by the way, was absolutely nothing. And so he decided to go here and send his army back. There it is, right there. And I survived by not fighting anything. So yeah, I still got this fort too. That's awesome for me. Less awesome for Atlantis, because as you can see, he's now being gangbanged by everybody. You're welcome. And the biggest thing that happened, no, I'm not going to say the biggest thing, but another really big thing that was really cool, and this is sort of ironic, because you remember I got a vastness, and that was sort of off-screen based on another turn that we missed, that I failed to record, and so here we got another vastness, and so we're now up to Ottervast and his 2 pals, 3 total, and I think there's some sort of like weird karmic thing where I just can't record videos where I get vastnesses that get summoned. So you'll just have to take my word for it that I'm not hacking the game. And there you go. Yeah, so I now have an Ottervast and 2 vastnesses. Now these guys are not commanders, so they can't go around by themselves. And I sort of just decided to make a show of force by saying, hey, look, these 3 guys are stupidly overpowered now, and I can just destroy you anywhere I go because they all teleport. Now that's not entirely true, because like Mr. Otter, they have 0 protection as well. But they do take my bless, and they'll get the bless by just being with him anywhere he goes in my Dominion. My Dominion is kind of struggling right now. I've still got my little secret hideout, which is not so secret anymore because Erythia knows that is there. And then my Dominion is sort of up here, but that's about it. So it's a little risky to raid around with them, but they, between them, do have 12 Mind Blasts and 6 Steel Strength attacks and all of the magic that he can throw down. So it's still pretty cool. But this is actually a huge waste of raiding potential, I realized immediately after doing it. So I sent them all here, and because a teleport is actually a move and not a magic phase move, like the movement teleport, they're just going to move teleport here. They're not going to teleport here, if that makes any sense. So they don't catch his army because this is where most of them retreated to. I didn't expect them to. I knew this was the case. I've played Kailasa before, and that's how their movement works with their siddhas. Yeah, it was just to be like, hey, you know, I'm coming at you now, and I'm super grumpy. But I really can't do anything still. So what I decided to do is immediately after doing this, we're going to move here, and we're also going to move these guys here with magic leadership and sneak a Star Child in there, because really the only money we have now is for recruiting Star Children. So yeah, we're gonna have these guys all gather here and then split up from here. And what that's going to do is I'm going to stick one with them and one with him, and they're just going to sit behind and cast Blessing, and so that they get the bless, and then they'll do all the heavy lifting. And then from there we'll raid. So from here we can hit here, here, and here simultaneously with Vastnesses and Ottervasts. So that's my plan, at least. And we'll see how that works out. Aside from that, there's not really a whole lot. I'm counter-raiding again with basically anything I have left. Still some of the remnants of my diseased folks. I'm recruiting these guys. I get free chaff just for existing, so I guess I figure I don't really need more chaff, especially since all my chaff is really bad. So I just want more Mind Blasters. And then we're going to pick these guys up. See what I mean by getting chaff for existing. And then we're going to counter raid out here and take that. And I think I've got an Illithid up there. So I'm basically drawing from the bottom of the barrel here for anything that I can get. Yeah, so with Erythia's army broken, he's not going to go for my 50 PD again unless he builds up pretty significantly, and Atlantis is on the run. So I can make a little show of taking things back. And I do have this sort of medium army here as well. That's all amphibious as well. So I can maybe take this and then push out as well up here and take these back. I'm a little hesitant to do counter raiding because my guys are so bad that they can lose to a PD dump. So I really don't want to just throw away what little I have with very, very high risk and no reward. But I can also catch him in PD traps. So that's what I'm doing here, sort of. I've got 16 PD, and I'm moving these guys in here as well. And this is not particularly big, and so far he's only been running into, I think, 1 to 6 PD. So we're going to try and catch him here. I don't think he'll go here because he sees that army there, and I can technically reinforce it with these guys. And I am also recruiting Star Children here, so we're just going to sort of roam around with Star Children and assassinate targets of opportunity. Okay, I think I spent enough time on this turn. there's really not a whole lot that's going to go down right now and in the next couple of turns, because no big major battles, but mostly just raiding and counter raiding. So let's get into the next turn. Turn 30. Excuse me. Come on. Yes, I also did do some diplomatic bantering back at him. So in the last message he said, slay the Ottervast Spire. He made a mention of that, and so I sort of poke back at him, say, Queen of Land and Water, quite pretentious, and I do play Slay the Spire as well, so Slay the Spire has 3 levels. Let's see if she can beat them all, seeing as I now have 3 of these dudes. Let's see about battles. So battles, yeah, he's raiding and beating me easily. And this was successful, but still, I mean, I still had some guys retreat and die in the battle. So, like I said, my guys are crap. Even though I did win that battle. Crap. Okay, so he's sort of coming back at me, and I unsuccessfully do anything to him. And then, yeah, I kill all of his stuff here. And he had some stuff, but the cultists both die, so my plan is somewhat foiled. And then we see some battles from these guys as well, and I do counter raid there. I got some defense in Shiny Ocean. Where is that? Oh, great, they're dead. Oh well. Yeah, so I think he realized, you know what? Not going out super great for me with 3 people fighting me. In fact, all 3 of these people are also fighting each other, because there's Marignon fighting Mictlan. Man is pissed at Mictlan too for getting in on his vulturing, and then he sees Marignon there, and so he's going to be pissed at Marignon's vulturing, so he's like, hey, this is my stuff, go get your own dang people. I don't know why I'm doing that, because he can't really do anything. Let's actually watch one of these. Nah, we don't need to watch it. You see what happened. So he takes the fort with ease with a bunch of random summons and troops that he has. So yeah, did not work out super well for Atlantis. By the way, Atlantis has been putting up citadels like everywhere. So these are now man's citadels. So good for him. Okay, even bigger army that I have to deal with. This is getting abandoned, but it did save me 1 turn to put up a palisade. Oh, that's why I didn't care if he moved here, because I was building a palisade, and palisade construction always happens before movement. Unless, and I haven't tested this, unless I think maybe magic movement, but again, I haven't tested that. So, yeah, he could have moved here all he wanted. He would have just landed on top of a fort, and that would have been fine with me. But he went there and lost his guys instead, so I'm also happy with that. So we're going to be doing assassinations here. He didn't move anybody here, so that's sort of a waste to have an assassin there. And where is he going? Oh, he's going here in case he moves on top of this fort, because it does look like the weaker fort. And then we'll assassinate from there. And then, so because my cultist died, the only guy left, excuse me, is Mr. Sneaks here. And so he's going to be leading one of my vastness raiding parties. And we're going to take this back, because it is actually a pretty decent income province, and I want it. And we're going to move a little far afield and hit this province. Not going to hit the army again, but we're going to hit the province and raid him back, so he has to deal with that. It's sort of a risky move, because he might have an army here, which I don't see, or I guess technically here also, which I don't. No, I see he doesn't have an army there, but I don't see if he has an army here or not. And if he does, he has a lot of stuff that can sort of wreck my face, and it's not in my dominion. So Risky move, but I think it's okay. And he is going to move here, and then we're still recruiting Star Children there. We're going to assassinate here because it looks like he has commanders, which he might want to build forts underwater, and we're going to assassinate here. Now this I can't do squat about. That is very sad. So we're probably just going to be in the same position that we were in with losing this fort immediately. He's stuck there. Mr. Sadly Not a Vastness. Sadly he will die. And yeah, so I can't actually move an Illithid who is diseased, who I probably don't want anyways, with an Ichthyid Lord. So turns out this was a little bit of a waste, but I don't really know what to do with him, so he's just gonna sit there and hang out. We're gonna consolidate with basically everybody we got. He's only aquatic, so he's not gonna be able to retreat as effectively. What I'm gonna do is either move here and then pick up these guys and then move here if time allows, based on this guy, the stack here, or I'll move here and then here and consolidate and hold down the fort, so to speak. Not that fort, this fort. And we're just going to keep recruiting Star Children. We literally don't have the gold for anything else, but I figure I'll play my hand at assassinating and see what happens. Let's move on. Turn 31. Okay, so got some sloth lore, or baka lore, I guess, from, yeah, he's spamming the underwater site searching spell with all of his many water gems, of which I am jealous. Let's check out assassinations. Fail. It's less of a fail. Killed him. Fail and fail. So why did these fail? Let's take a look at a sample, shall we? A couple of things. First off, well, really first off is a script. Script your assassins to do things. Like if they have Mind Blast, script them to Mind Blast. You know, basic stuff. I didn't do that, so that was bad. Another thing is that generally there are good assassins and there are just regular assassins. Good assassins are with nations like Satis, Pangea, stuff like that, which have paths in death or nature, because they can free spawn units into the assassination battle, like Horde of Skeletons or Swarm. Sort of okay assassins are the ones with magic paths or that are sacred or whatever. And that's sort of where we are. The rest are just regular human-sized guys with assassination. But assassination is much, much easier if you give them retinue gear. For example, bottles of water, bottles of living water, or handful of acorns, or skeleton talismans, I believe. And so I don't have that, and as we can see from my research, I will basically never have that. So my choice for assassinating was a questionable one. I'm not actually pretty good at assassinating. I haven't really played any assassination nations. So it's something I'm working on. Something I'm learning, and this is a learning experience. Losing these 4 guys is a learning experience, and what I learned is that I should have used them for researching, or I should have used them to for communions in any battles that I got. Oh, one of the things I forgot to mention I was doing last turn is I actually recruited my first mercenary of the game, Mr. Sog. Mr. Sog the Hydromancer. And Mr. Sog is a Water 3 mage with stupid high encumbrance, because that's dumb, free water gems, and monster fish of, situational usefulness. He can only be recruited underwater, and or I should say, he can only be murked underwater. And so I figured free water gems, not free, but for gold. So gold into water gems seems like a good deal. So we're gonna have him hanging out. Let's take a look at the other stuff that happened this turn. We fended off these guys. We had a successful counter raid with the Vastness Starchild pairing. Satis. Now, Satis actually last turn lost his cap to Utgard, and so this is his Pretender getting called back and just sort of being annoying for a little while. I've also got a scout wandering around finding things. So there's that. This scout is actually crazy, so he's going to preach. Not hide and preach, just preach, which means he's going to die. So there's Satis's Pretender. That's cool. What else? We drive this guy off, and here we have a pretty big battle in which I am not particularly successful. So we ran into his army because his army did not move. So I guess he was consolidating here instead of continuing to raid. Maybe that bump that I drove him off with actually shook him up a little bit more than intended. What he's got here is a handful of these hoplite underwater guys, and a lot of crossbows, and then a significant amount of PD. And as for mages, he's got A2 exclamation point, who can cast anti-magic, and Lolly Police his Prophet. And what I've got are two of the Vastnesses, one of them being Otter Vastness himself, and I'm not in my Dominion, so I don't get my Bless. No Awe, no Tus Fate, Sadness, and that also applies to him. He's just Sacred. So we're going to have to rely on the strength of my Mind Blasts. So what happens is, these guys run in and are immediately terrified of my presence. And he flies into the back, Mr. Otter Vastness. And he lands right over here. And that leaves this guy to be pelted with crossbows. Now he can hold up to these guys pretty easily, but can't do much to those crossbows, and eventually they're gonna whittle him down, and he dies. So then they come for the Otter Vastness himself, and he decides that he really wants this guy dead, instead of, you know, much more valuable targets. Now I did manage to get him to have gem usage. As far as I know, he doesn't have a lab in this province. I certainly didn't. And so that's going to take him a while to recharge, and that's good. But I really would have rather killed these guys. But nope. We decide that something over here is very interesting. So we're taking a bit of a beating from the crossbows, but because I can fly, we get the heck out of dodge and are not killed, but we also don't do a whole lot of damage. As you can see, PD is inconsequential, and we only kill 5 crossbows and some of these dudes. The Pythium, the Pilum wielding guys, their javelins. So yeah, not a super great trade-off. I mean, you know, technically speaking, this guy is free, but still, not a super great trade-off. We drove that guy off, and then we scouted something over here. Oh, just to see what was there. Maybe he was discovered. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's sort of not great. We're basically in the phase of just hanging on by a thread. Can't really do a whole lot. We're gonna lick our wounds here, and by lick our wounds I mean research. This is where he retreated to because it's the only place. No, he could have retreated here or here. Never mind. He retreated here, which is good because then he can just research. I guess he could have sight searched, but meh. Fire and astral don't really have a good use for right now. And what else? Yeah, so he's got his army there still, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this opportunity to see if we can't do something to get more land for ourselves. Instead of just raiding and counter-raiding, Statist looks to be having a bad day, so let's grab some of that. Let's get some of that under our belt. That would be nice. Especially an extra fort. That would be really nice. Now he's got a bunch of stuff here, but I do still have it next to my capital. And we've got now a vastness, a bunch of human chaff, and a bunch of other chaff. And so we can probably clear off this PD pretty easily. And then for what's in the fort, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that when that time comes. We still have a lot of stuff now, a lot of chaff. We're getting these guys actually for free, I think, because you get void spawn in your Dominion as well, occasionally. Not any good new stuff out of the gate. And we're actually entering the gate now with one of these guys, because I'm like, you have literally no use to me other than researching or entering the gate, and I need my guys for other things. So that's what we're doing. Oh, and I think, yeah, he actually got killed in a gate summoning. So I just don't have gold. Well, okay, I do, but not that much gold. I really don't have that much gold left to be thrown at stuff. So we're gonna get more Star Children to replace the ones that died tragically. Don't have a lab or temple there to do much with, nor the gold to fund them. What else is going on? Yeah, that's sort of looming on the horizon. Don't see any other Erythian armies though, so we're pretty safe for the time being, just sitting in our cap with 50 PD and being generally unappetizing. Nothing new there. We're sending more earth gems for water gems to Phlegra, and that'll actually get us to sort of a decent amount of water gems for our next major stand, which I'm thinking it might be here, but this is not a lot to commit to that, and that will be just wasted if he tries to take it. I should really just abandon this because it is not going to do super well for me trying to fight that with, you know, this and that. So yeah, not the greatest idea. Let's move on. Turn 32. And we'll actually call it there. We're not going to do turn 33 and 34. I have actually, let me just go back here. I have looked through all of the rest of the turns until the end of the game, and I have them all. So no more worries on that account, unless I accidentally break my computer or something. But we're good to go. So turn 32, we're going to call it there, and then we'll move on in a little while afterwards. So we get water gems. Woohoo! Messenger. Okay. Good for him. Thaumaturgy level 3. What do I get from that? We get teleport. Teleport is great. I'm going to use the heck out of teleport. That does explain a little bit also why I was researching for one turn with my pretender. Very smart of me. Very smart. Sort of smart. Okay. This was kind of funny. So Adepts of the Silver Order are Air 2, Astral 2 with a random. Very good, actually. Very good, slow to recruit mages, but very cool. Lots of cross paths. And he decides that a great thing for him to do with this guy. Oh no, you know who this is? This is the White Wizard. My bad. This is a merc. So he's probably just trying to use the gems out of that. I don't think that he actually has the Silver Throne or anything like that. But still, they are good mages, just generally speaking. So he's going to die immediately. He was going to summon an air elemental, but he did not. So yeah, I like to say that he got so fecked by doing that. And we'll move right along from that. No magic sites, sadly. I think I was searching with cultists, so he's not gonna find any sites. Shiny Ocean. Okay, I do not do very much, but he went here. Like I said, dead PD. My scout decides that it is a great idea to try and punch a werewolf. It was not a great idea, spoilers. And we've got another counter raid, or raid, to which I will have to counter raid there. And we drop on top of Satis's fort and overcome the PD with no resistance at all. Unfortunately, it's going to take a crap ton of time to break those walls down. So this is where he is raiding me now. And I do see some guys here, so he could raid potentially up here. If he does that, he's going to probably run into angry Atlanteans. So I hope he does, because I certainly don't need this province. 15 gold, that's not that great. And what is he doing here? He is raiding here now with water gems. And they're actually aquatic. So I should have factored that into my decision-making process, but I did not. Excuse me. So I did actually scare his army off here, which means that it is probably here. I don't think he could move all the way there in one turn, so it is probably here where his army is now. And what that means is it gives me a little bit of breathing room. I'm going to move Star Child over here to see if we can take this Amber Clan, because if I can add Amber Clan to my repertoire, that will actually be really great. I could probably take it right now, but I'm sort of leery about, I mean, Amber Clan are really good, and my guys are really bad. So, in addition to that, we're going to counter raid as well over here with mindless tentacle guys, and these guys just being commanders and set to fire. I think that can take it, whatever PD he's got there. Now here I know he's got a substantial amount of PD, but here, not so sure. So we're going to take attacks of opportunity as we can get him, because, like I said, I think his army has moved here, so he can't get back over here easily. And then I do decide this was a terrible idea, and we are leaving with everybody that can leave, except for this guy, because he decided that here is a really great place to be, and he is insane to think that, as you can see. We're getting back into slave mage recruitment. Go me. And we're entering the site with a normal mage again, and we're prophetizing one of these guys. So that'll cut down on my expenses a little bit, because they're kind of expensive. 232 a year versus 0 if he's a prophet. So that's a pretty big difference. Satis is generally speaking having a bad day. I'm still here on his fort. He's losing provinces to barbarians. He's lost his cap. So hopefully I can take advantage of that before Atlantis comes roaring in and wrecks my face off. Otherwise, yeah, we're just moving guys around. Not a whole lot to see here. So that's where we're going to leave this episode. It's a pretty slow episode. Things will pick up before the end, and the end is coming. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.